guys, it's Krystle, and today I'm back with another video on the Telluride Association Summer Program, or TASP. If this is your first time hearing about TASP, then you should definitely go check out my other videos on the subject, where I go into a lot more detail, so I'll link them down below for you guys. And hey, while you're there, why not make sure to follow me on all my social media, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notifications bell to make sure you're notified every time I post. I was just at Bacchanal last weekend, which is the biggest party of the year on Columbia University's campus, and I documented everything on my Instagram and Snapchat, so be sure to follow me on those to make sure that you're staying up to date with everything that's going down. But really quickly, TASP is a 6-week summer program for rising high school seniors. It has an acceptance rate of around 3%, and it offers this absolutely amazing, enriching learning opportunity, so it's often called a golden ticket to the Ivy League and similar universities. Personally, I do think TASP helped me on my applications when I was applying early decision to my dream school, Columbia University, but the experience that it offers is worth so much more than an admissions boost, so this is actually my 4th video on it. I know that you guys have been really liking these videos, and I can't actually take any of the credit for this one. It was all a subscriber's idea, and when she asked for me to go into more detail about the logistics of the program, I thought I should make this video. So while my other TASP experience video talked about all the academic side of things, this video is going to go more into detail about the friendships I made, what the teachers were like, what our days looked like, everything that you need to know before going. So I would definitely recommend watching my other video on the topic before this one, just so that you're all caught up. But if you're all set, then let's go. So I definitely want to start with what was personally my favorite part of TASP, right up there with the subject of my seminar, which was a creative writing workshop. The relationships with the teachers and the other students there were absolutely a standout for me, and I actually keep in contact with people from there to this day. TASP prohibits anything like romantic relationships between students, but what it really encourages is the formation of a really close, tight-knit community. In that sense, it was really different from any other summer program I had attended up until that point, and from any other summer program in general. Something that's really specific to TASP is the pillars of democracy and self-governance that it stands on, in that we're really supposed to create these communities that are unlike anything else, and the goal, socially speaking, is actually more or less to become equally close to every other TASPer. I haven't really kept in touch with the 2 teachers I had at TASP to the same degree, but I still really enjoyed the relationships I cultivated with them, and one of my TASP professors actually wrote one of my letters of recommendation for college. The teachers were pretty young, like around 30 or so, and they were both really nice and really good at what they did. Around halfway through the middle of the 6 weeks, they scheduled individual meeting sessions with each of us just to check in and see how we were enjoying the program, if there was anything that we wanted to talk about, and they were also quite receptive to anything that we wanted to change. Oh, also, something that they did that I really loved was they created an individualized writing prompt for each and every one of us in the seminar, and they personalized the prompts based on what we had already written and what they felt we needed to explore more in our writing. I remember that I had never experienced anything like that before, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I had been writing a lot of pretty personal stuff that drew from real life up until that point, so I remember that my personal prompt was to draw more from the fantastical and explore magical realism in my stories. I thought that was just absolutely amazing, and I had a lot of fun with that. I'm getting all excited just thinking about it, and I realize that probably sounds like the nerdiest thing ever, but hey, it's okay to embrace your inner nerd every once in a while, you guys. So now I wanted to go a little more into detail about the housing accommodations at TASP, since I know that can be a little confusing for some people. Now, it actually changes up quite a lot depending on the year that you go in and which seminar you're going to. And it can be dorms or a frat house or all sorts of different housing accommodations, but one thing that's pretty consistent is TASP always takes place at a few different college campuses across the country each year, and usually they do Cornell University and the University of Michigan, but they've also done the University of Texas at Austin, and this year one of the seminars is being held at the University of Maryland at College Park. There are usually around 14 or 15 people per seminar, and depending on how many seminars you have in a given year at a particular campus, a whole TASP might range from just the 15 people to 30 or so people living, eating, breathing, and sleeping together. In my year, we did this in a frat house. We were about 15 minutes from the building where we had our classes, and every morning we would congregate at the front door and walk there together. Now, I touched on housing a little bit in my last video, but suffice it to say that it wasn't necessarily the best part of TASP. We each had a roommate, which was actually really awesome. It was definitely the best part of housing. We switched roommates halfway through the middle of TASP, which kind of freaked out some people, but it turned out to be totally fine in the end. Actually, my new roommate had been really close to my old roommate, and they had hung out together in the room all the time anyway, so it didn't really feel like all that much had changed. So yeah, roommates were definitely the best part of housing at TASP, but unfortunately after that it all kind of started to go downhill from there. So I don't think fraternity brothers are necessarily the first words or images that come to mind when you think of the words neat, or clean, or spick and span. Now, at every TASP, there are two former TASPers called factotums who basically act as camp counselors, and they had gotten there a week earlier to clean up and make sure everything was presentable for us, and yet it was still kind of grody. Allow me to illustrate with an anecdote. So, a couple of weeks into the program, the fire alarm started going off all the time, and every time it went off, we had to file out of the house into the yard, no matter the time of day or night. Emphasis on night. And the brave firemen and women would come and they would go inside the house and they would search for fire, and they would see that there was obviously no sign of a fire anywhere, so we would all leave scratching our heads, searching for a solution. Finally, after the fire alarm had gone off 3 times in a single night, the fire patrol figured it out. So, are you guys ready to learn why? As it turned out, the frat boys had somehow gotten beer into the fire alarm system. I don't know how they did it. I don't know why they did it. All I knew, nay, all any of us knew, was that somehow beer had gotten into the fire alarm, and wasps had crawled in there and were setting it off. Wasps. Just let that sink in for a moment. So yeah, we weren't exactly living in a palace or anything like that, but hey, that was definitely very much a one-time thing, and I think the Telluride Association did pretty well for offering a free program with as much prestige and intellectual engagement as it does in the first place. So thank you, TASP, thank you, Telluride Association. Just maybe no thank you for the wasps. I definitely wouldn't say there was a lot of spare time at TASP just because we were usually either in class or studying or doing group activities together, but there actually was a little bit more free time than I went in expecting. Like, if you wanted to go into town with your friends and get something to eat, you could usually do that. Now, at TASP, there's a rule where you can't actually go places in groups of just 2 because they want to discourage any 2 people from becoming best friends to the exclusion of everyone else in the community. So we would usually go places in groups, and it was never really a problem trying to find people to go with or anything like that. We got bubble tea, like a lot of bubble tea, and I remember one time a bunch of us went to this Japanese food place downtown, and we just ordered a whole bunch of desserts and shared them, which was really fun. A lot of the stuff we did together was pretty community-oriented like that, whether it was spontaneous or planned beforehand. Like, one time we had a task-wide water balloon fight, which was obviously amazing, and even though neither team officially won, I still stand by my team's obvious dominance. We also had a TV in the frat house, but we weren't allowed to watch anything unless it was as a community. Like, one time, my seminar had to watch an episode of Black Mirror as part of our homework, and another time, the other seminar at Cornell was assigned to watch Thor, as in the Marvel movie, which I totally crashed, so that was really fun. Because TASP is such a self-governing community, we were all very much responsible for making sure that everything was running smoothly, and a big part of that was taking responsibility for chores. Like, for example, TASPers have to do the cleanup after every mealtime. Every TASP does this a little bit differently, but for us, we split up into 3 different groups, and every 3 days, we would clean up after either lunch or dinner. We ate breakfast in the basement of the frat house, and we kept some simple things like bagels and cereal there, but we ate lunch and dinner at the Telluride house, which was just like a minute's walk away, except for on weekends, where we just ate brunch and dinner there. Ah, sweet brunch. Oh, I miss you. Mwah. Then we also had to keep the frat house clean. Cough, cough. Not that the frat boys did us any favors with that. Cough, cough. We also organized pretty much everything that we did, whether it was something fun, like the water balloon fight, or something required for the program, like the 2 community service projects that you have to do as part of TASP. We also had a $2,000 budget to spend however we saw fit, and most of what that went towards was community outings like going kayaking and bowling, and then also some commemorative stuff like sweatshirts and stickers, all that fun stuff. You can also bring your own money for purchases, and I personally brought about $200 or so for the 6 weeks, but I had a good amount left over at the end. I would recommend bringing around 100 or so, just because you never know what kinds of fun souvenirs you might want to get, but if that's a problem at all, or if attending the program is in any way difficult for you, then TASP actually offers stipends of up to $500 to make sure that everyone who's accepted is able to go. Pro tip for those of you who have watched this far. Come in close. This is our secret. The summer programs that are free are almost always the ones that are actually worth going to, and the ones that you have to freaking take out student loans to pay for usually don't actually pay off that much in the long run. So yes, that is TASP in a nutshell. If you've watched this far, then thank you so much, and don't forget to like this video if you've enjoyed it, and to subscribe to my channel and follow me on all my social medias. It really means the world to me to see you guys subscribe, and I'll bet we can get to 500 subscribers really soon, so let's make that our goal, you guys. Comment your summer plans down below, and let me know what other kinds of videos and topics you would want me to cover. I will see you guys really soon. Bye for now. I know that you guys have been really liking this video. In this video, I'm going to be going into detail about the friendships I made, what the teachers were like, what our days looked like. So I would recommend oh God. I'm dying.